The quintessential team of good chemistry equaling good results is defined by G2.
G2 claim!
Every time and every era they have been successful, it is when the team are enjoying what they're doing. But crucially, they do not let the baggage of bad feelings, bad momentum, bad losses, bad play impact the end goal, which is to win a final.
A double for Caps, and they're looking to make it 11-0 in the losers bracket.
I think the reason why it didn't work out in the end again was just a lack of team chemistry, I felt. It was our first split and I felt like we were not so good as a team yet, even though we were all really good individuals. So I think that's our main focus.
Rogue will be the final boss in the LEC.
I think it's very easy to just go for players that have the strongest skill. That's just not going to win you the game when it comes down to a long game, a drawn-out game where you fall super far behind and the game is frustrating. You want to give up, you want to stop it. That's why you need a team that has a strong bond to keep going. Even when the game is looking completely lost, you want to keep going and make it as miserable for your opponents to win as possible.
Dragon is started up. They're going to start it on, and Jankos looking for the steal. Steal that from over the wall. He gets the Hextech soul for G.
They're a team that is trying like a candle on two ends, and it either is burning with success
a moment where we really celebrated any type of and they will solve just create an environment where we can share our knowledge rather than
expectations. On the flip side, Upset is more extroverted in that. Put it in way believe that there is enough time
And just because of the start in Summer so far, is it fair of me to assess that a lot of it will come down to how Razork steps into this game?
I think so. I think a lot of it will come down to jungle matchup in regards to that too. We've seen that Razork on stuff like the volley bear, I know Trouble's been talking about it a lot today, has been a big impact. That's been something that's continued through from those playoffs. It was a comfort champion for him then, and allows him to really just derail a lot of opposition's plans early.
I think that when we look at Razork as a player, one of the most interesting stats to me for him is his kill participation at 14. He's over 90%.
That's ridiculous.
He is involved in almost everything that happens in Fnatic's early game, and he is integral to the success of their early game. And so when he has been shut down, when he's been too over-aggressive at times, his inconsistencies, that is when we see Fnatic fall short. And so he will be one of the players that we look at in the early game against a strong G2.
And we know he has a formidable opponent in the jungle and Jankos on the other side, and that mid-jungle synergy is something we have talked about as long as them two have played together and all the successes they have brought us in Caps and in Jankos. But is it a little bit of an Achilles heel for G2 that obviously if you shut down Caps early, a lot of the wheels can come off the wagon just a little bit?
It does feel like that. When we think of G2 throughout the years, Caps has been the linchpin of a lot of their success. We think back to the Mickey Jankos era where they would consistently roam to mid, and I think that we see a similar type of playstyle when you have Targamas alongside them as well. They are a very mid-focused team, but their losses are a result of shutting Caps down, and that has been an effective way of defeating G2 in the current split.
And it's all easy to say, well, why can't we just gank mid? Well, because so many other players on G2 draw that fire. They stand up and they're counted for too, and they require resources to go elsewhere. Shutting down Caps is a multi-part plan.
Looking at this B-roll, I think this is really interesting. Yeah. Literally, the only reason why people are like mad that we do introductions on stage is because they're always making so much noise. We were looking at some replays actually of Mad yesterday because Mad beat G2, and I feel like there are a lot of ingredients that Fnatic could draw from in order to replicate that success.
And this is why we talked so much about Razork, right? When we think about Fnatic's early game planning, how successfully can they shut down Caps? And this is going to be the ultimate question, because even if Caps is 0-6, you know he's still playing well. You know he'll have an impact. The question is, can you shut him down enough to limit his impact alongside the rest of G2? Or will you be able to find a sufficient early game that Fnatic can run away with it?
And that's why you've really got to hit at home. It normally will come down to jungle plus support. If bot lane starts winning, a lot of the time, actually, you have your support roaming mid. It just adds another weight that you have to bear in that mid lane.
And we've chosen our focus for this match. Doesn't mean that there aren't all the other lanes to talk about either. Berlin, who thinks Fnatic's going to win?
It's pretty loud.
Who thinks G2's going to win? Jankos and Cadril, I'm not too sure. You guys say what they decided, because that wasn't clear.
I think it was very clear. You just don't want us to say it. G2, you're intimidating, and I respect that. Very loud, very, very loud. Fnatic fans, you're outnumbered today. That could be a ticket issue, though, not a fandom issue. You know, it's not. The G2 fans were quicker on the refresh. Some people win, some people lose, as they say. But that said, we'll talk about this more in our cast. While Fnatic is one of the OG names in European League of Legends, and they have done well internationally, and they have done well in playoffs, they have yet to grab a title in a very long time. Unlike G2, who fell away for a single year and have come back swinging. And while this is a single best of one, have to see how it shakes out.
So, straight pick and ban. Caps, his name is written on Jankos' forehead, I think.
Yep,
BrokenBlade written on the Flakked. So,
Flakked on the cheek of BrokenBlade.
Oh yeah, I see. All of them got names everywhere. So, Fnatic's bans, Seraphine already taken out. I expect they've got a few locked bans in things like Yumi and Wuka. Oh my god, that P is...
It's the boy who lived.
Oh. Does Targamas? No, so Targamas and Caps have stayed away from the Sharpie.
I imagine
Flakked,
there will
Jankos,
be...
and BrokenBlade have been...
words shared between the production team and G2 before they come on.
Because last time it was only Flakked and BrokenBlade. Now Jankos is getting involved. Maybe next week Caps gets involved, and the week after that, all hell breaks loose. So, bans coming through. Wukong's up, is going to get taken away, and now it's on G2 Esports for the first pick. Lucian is open, Zeri is open. I guess pick your poison, or it could go for GP first pick, Corki first pick. There's a lot of solo lanes which also can be very high prio. We'll see if they prioritize things like the Viego, because both junglers are banned, but no, it's going to be Corki for Caps. Humanoid, are you going to match it with Azir on 3? We will wait and see, but now we'll see where Fnatic's priority lies in the bot side and the jungle. We expect Ahri is a notorious counter to Corki. A lot of teams ban out Ahri when they want to first pick Corki. I think we saw it earlier in the day when Ahri gets banned away, first pick Corki is inevitable, so it just gets banned. We saw it yesterday, I believe. So, going to look for that counter matchup for Humanoid.
Now also being locked in alongside the Viego. Again, pretty stock standard jungle pick, still brings a lot to the table despite the recent nerfs. And while they do hurt, he's still generally... God. Can we, like, Photoshop it out? It's really distracting.
What's distracting?
Zeri, GP now locked in. You've got a nice split of damage on the team already. All the carries now locked in. We've got a Twitch.
Yep.
Yuumi already banned away, so that power pairing will be taken off the board.
Does G2 ban things like the Lulu here? Normally when Twitch gets picked on 3, the other team tries to deny as many enchanters as possible. Yuumi's already down. I think the Zeri can always function with things like the Nautilus. We'll see what they opt into. Renata, another really strong one in terms of support picks. But G2 yet to pick their jungler, so they're going to try and deny as many engaged champs that shut down the Twitch. Jarvan being banned away, and with Wunder playing not this split so much, but normally leans towards the tanky-ish playstyle. Trundle could also be a bit of a pain for Fnatic. We've also seen Jankos' Vi, which could be good into the Twitch, so we'll keep our eye on that, and we'll keep our eye on what Fnatic takes away.
Something worth tracking for now, trying to shape the jungle mid matchup, get an edge there. You heard from our analysts on stage. Multi-part process, shutting Caps down. Easier said than done. For now, the KO will be limited. That scaling option, something obviously Wunder has had pretty great success on thus far this season. Is it going to be one more jungle ban? Could also, of course, hit the support pool, as you highlighted, the Lulu, some of the more premier picks. Renata, and after last game, I respect it. Sometimes the hostile takeover feels like it does nothing. And after you watch a game like the last game, you're reminded that it is an incredibly powerful spell.
Yeah, not too surprising to see that one get taken away. We'll see what options Jankos looks for jungle. And we'll see what options Targamas looks for. Something like Pike could work fantastically as well if you've got a lot of engage or kind of follow-up for damage. There's the Gragas taken from Wunder. We already heard the desk talk about how strong his Gragas is. And I feel like right now, G2 have a lot of poke. Corki Rockets, Zeri W, GP ult and barrels. There's so much poke that I think Fnatic needs some engage. Obviously, we saw Ornn into GP last game from Irrelevant and Armut. Not a very good time for Ornn, but exactly what Fnatic needs, so not surprised to see that one picked up. Leave their support till last pick. Try to counter-pick what G2 pick here. I mean, you could go for something like Nautilus here, but Braum would also work because of the Ornn, but then you're running into Rakans and things like this. There's the Trundle, as we expected. Could have been a ban for Fnatic, as Wunder kind of has to go tank duty when you're playing Ahri, Twitch, Viego. Trundle is a no-brainer. The question is, what does Targamas pick here for support? I mean, Braum, again, blind pick would be okay because of the Ornn ult, but then they can last pick Rakan here, and Hylissang Rakan. It's a bit scary.
And I like what G2 are putting together. It's a composition that kites back incredibly well. This would be excellent and needed source of engage, because when they set up on objectives with a Corki, with a GP, they are so incredibly powerful. Running into people, as we saw last game with Armut's GP, can be quite difficult.
Maybe Zilean as well could work pretty well for a blind pick here. They have Ahri Twitch opening up on them. We'll see what Targamas goes for. It's going to be the Rakan. So they don't want to blind pick Braum. They want to keep Rakan for themselves. Now, this does open up engage supports for Hilly. Something like Nautilus is normally picked into Rakan, but Twitch Nautilus, maybe not the happiest of lanes that Fnatic wants. I think Lulu here could also work. Something defensive. Zilean for Fnatic could also work. You have a lot of team fights, something to buff up this Twitch.
Zilean, and of course, if you played League of Legends way back in the day, you throw a bomb on the Twitch, he turns invisible, he runs it. Now it doesn't work that way anymore. So.
It's one of those things where so early on, you're like, aha, I'm the first one to think of this. But it's going to be a Hylissang Zilean. So we've seen what he can do on the Zilean. Even last split, he was showing us how to engage on Zilean. He's a master of engaging on any champion. Range support picked up. G2, incredible team fight in terms of poke. Good disengage with Trundle, and the Rakan is their way in. Fnatic, incredible engage from the Ornn, of course. Mid-jungle pretty strong in the early stages. We'll keep track on if they can shut down Caps, as the desk highlighted. When Caps falls behind, it's really hard for G2 to find their way back. And then, yeah, of course, Twitch, Zilean, Ornn, that's just spells team fight.
Absolutely does. Curious to see what Jankos can do with this Trundle, though. A pillar against the champions like Twitch and Zilean can be devastating in the early game, especially when you have the Rakan for the potential follow-up. Early game going to be big here. We've seen a lot of these games today where the early leads have just snowballed out of control. And admittedly, last game, it was a miracle turnaround, but GG sorts with Fnatic, it feels like it always gets crazy. It feels like it always gets out of control.
Yeah, and I wonder if Jankos feels creative this game. I mean, a level 1 gank, level 2 gank bot onto a Twitch Zillion could spell that lane out for the Rakan and give them the push and get the sums out of them. On Trundle, you can always look for those level 2 ganks. We'll see if he gets creative, because if he doesn't have much setup until that Rakan level 6. GP and Corki, not great lanes to play into, but lanes he might need to protect with the push and against the Ahri.
Both teams ready. It is just a best of one, but the stakes always feel high when it's G2 Esports versus Fnatic.
Chance coming out.
So many personal rivalries, so much history between the teams and each and every one of these players. The fans as well. It's time to get into game. G2 Esports versus Fnatic. And I absolutely love the energy here in Berlin. So good to have a crowd for a matchup like this.
Upset.
So good to have a Twitch for a level 1 like this. This Upset lurks in the shadows. Jankos not going to overstay. No one with any vision to speak of yet in enemy territory.
Upset staying around, trying to see if he can chunk out someone like the Trundle. Jankos, of course, won't mind that too much. The Trundle's clear. You can almost do it without potions anyway. Raptors is the only real pain for this champ, so we'll see where he starts. Again, level 2 gank bot could work. We'll see if Upset and Hilly drop a ward for it. And we'll see if Jankos gets creative. Or see the runes?
Yeah, checking in on the runes. Summoner Spellbook on the top side of the map, opting not for the grass. Knows it is a losing matchup. BrokenBlade, on the other hand, knows it's a winning matchup. Instead of opting for the grass, is opting for the first strike, looking to snowball ahead, get a bit of extra gold, a bit of extra upfront damage. So nothing that we have not seen before, but still some interesting choices.
Yeah, bone plating on the Corki there. You can see just to try and weather the storm when it comes to the all-in. Expect Razork to be playing through mid as much as possible. Now, my biggest question is, does Fnatic even ward for this level 1? There it is. Upset's going to drop it, I expect. They should be very careful for that level 2 gank for Jankos. And there it is. Jankos doesn't have a sweeper, so expecting him to path towards the top side. And just to set expectations, you were talking about this before the draft started. Fnatic, it's been a long time since they win a title. Many, many splits. We're going to bring up the graphic here just to show you can visualize it. Even Spring 2019 was a G2 title. The last time Fnatic won a title, LPL hadn't won Worlds yet.
It's a wild thing to think about. And it has
2018.
been a long time. And of course, while winning the title isn't everything, and Fnatic have put up a number of respectable international performances since then, I think a lot of Fnatic fans are still waiting to see the return to being not one of the best in Europe, but the best in Europe.
And that's exactly what they've tried to do with this roster. We've talked about it many times. We won't go too deep into it, but I think they want to find success, and they've put a lot of effort into doing so with this roster. And they're yet to find it yet from spring. Now in summer, we'll see if there's a turnaround. Of course, we saw this matchup earlier on last game. GP just bullying out on the Ornn, but with Corki and Trundle on the team, I don't expect there to be too many dives onto this Ornn early on. Of course, saw the Sandra from Niski, and we saw Yo-Yo going up there, but Wunder will be fine for now. Not too much action in these early stages.
Similar to the previous game, though, a lot more action might start to happen around level 6. Ahri and Viego, obviously, much, much stronger once they have those initial spikes. Curious to see if Hylissang and Upset can get out of lane. While the Hylissang Zillion was incredible in some games, there are some games where you miss his unique style of playmaking, and this could very well be one of them, depending on how Fnatic play out this early game.
Definitely is. We'll see Jankos finish up his, we'll call it quote-unquote full clear, because a lot of junglers like Trundle just skip Krugs when it comes to this, so they can get the crab faster. And he should be able to secure that. I mean, he doesn't have mid-push, but he should be able to take it down quite quickly. But as I say that, Razork might look for a top gank. BrokenBlade hasn't crashed his wave yet.
BrokenBlade playing with a lot of confidence here, but is he a bit too cocky? Razork stepping forward, double buffs. BrokenBlade now knows he's in trouble. Jankos moving up to get the crab uncontested. It will be a trade, but definitely not worth a first blood. Wunder picking that one up. A white flag waved.
Fantastic kill there by Fnatic. Simple and easy. Goes towards top, gets the gank. No wards dropped by BrokenBlade yet. His wave hadn't crashed. He's going to have to TP back as well. Now Jankos is looking for camps, looking for information. Knows the Krugs are up. Is going to drop a ward. Maybe he goes through mid here and takes bot crab because he sees Razork on those Krugs. He was spotted for a fraction of a second. Humanoid didn't see it, so he might have to burn a flash here. We'll see what happens.
And Pillar, limiting Humanoid's options here. No follow-up CC, however. And Jankos instead going for the Raptor respawn. Could have just gone for the second Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, because Razork, what he did was he started Raptors, and then he full cleared towards bot and then backtracked back to his red buff. So the Raptors are up. Jankos is down a level though, and he doesn't have much mid priority, so he's just going to try to Q smite this, I presume, and try to run out. We'll see who wins this smite fight, because Humanoid's on the way.
Good damage having turned it back. Razork already proccing the Conqueror. Traded back and forth. Humanoid on the way first. Jankos in enemy territory, flashing away. Gets a little bit of something there, but trading a ton of resources, giving up that flash very early on.
Worth gets them. Caps is going to trade off against Humanoid, try to chunk him out, and now Jankos is just going to be probably a pain for Fnatic and maybe run for this bot grab eventually. Maybe help Caps push this wave out so Humanoid can't find any kill pressure. And yeah, a little bit of early action from the junglers, but yeah, that first blood going in favor of Fnatic is just basically the gold lead right now.
Okay, Kendra, I have to stop you for a second because I can't tell when you're memeing anymore because you're a streamer.
Okay.
Do you actually think the flash was worth the big grab?
No, but if you, the thing is...
Okay, I just need to check.
The thing is, if you say worth, that means it's worth.
As it
That's
was
what makes it worth.
In the old text of League of Legends, worth in all chat makes it worth.
Don't follow Singe, that one's somewhere in there, 3, 4, 5. Flakked.
Stealth up Viego. Good bit of poke back. Nice patience from Targamas just to stand in, just a body block, knowing that he can leap out at a moment's notice. So, Jankos with the flash, I can't imagine will cost him too much in these first few minutes, but it does give Fnatic, on top of the first blood, a lot of access. They are going to finally take away that bot side scuttle crab, and Razork still just staying even in jungle CS though, but a bit of an individual gold lead for himself.
Oh, a dragon start here by Razork. Can he do it? We'll see. The Ocean Dragon does a lot of damage, doesn't have many potions. G2 don't know he's on it. Might need a little bit of help. We'll see what happens though, because G2 don't know he's there just yet. Should be able to take it by himself. And Jankos is looking for something different. He's looking for a lane gank here onto Fnatic if they try to get overly aggressive. Razork will win against the Dragon, and they'll be picked up uncontested. He should be able to clear out his bot side. So good smart play there from Razork, who's having a fantastic early game so far. Punished top, tried to find a gank bot, gets a Drake out of it anyway. I thought Jankos would go through mid and get that bot grab, but I think he was scared of showing that he's going to bot side, so then BrokenBlade would be vulnerable again. So he wanted to make sure his top side was safe, and now he's going to go through his second clear as well.
Yeah, of course, because of that, unable to spot the Dragon, makes it that much easier as Wunder, now that he has that early kill, having a much better time in this landing phase. First few levels very heavily favored for BrokenBlade, but Wunder now not letting a single barrel proc.
That's the mind game here in this lane, isn't it? The second the barrel gets thrown down, Wunder's 2-0 right now against BrokenBlade. We'll see if he can win the best of 5 of barrels. I think this one's going to be used just to clear out the wave if he does pop it, and should be close enough to his tower that it should be uncontestable.
Why would you say that? Now we have to track the full barrel best of 5.
We're not going to
Nobody actually wants to watch top lane for that long.
Well,
barrel best of 5?
Barrel best of 5.
3-0?
Win it. Is he going to go for it? Oh! Now he might be in trouble. Jankos on the way. Has flash though.
Oh, 3-1. He won the best of 5. He's going to die, probably. But he won the best of 5, and that might be all that matters. Wunder now flashing back. I like it. Over the pillar, knocks up. Maybe looking for the turn. Viego is on the way up.
Have to say words for that one. Jankos no flash, has to be careful here. Razork has flash, he could gap close this.
Jankos now in trouble. They know he has no flash. The knockout comes through, but it does not quite connect. It might not matter. However, the reset now coming in. He's going to steal away the turtle. Now he has a pillar of his own just to make sure that Wunder is safe. Denying BrokenBlade any further access. Level 6 coming into clutch time. Razork and Wunder taking over this game.
Top jungle is dominating the game right now. Fnatic just outclassing them. Jankos pathed up there from the beginning of the game, but slipped up. BrokenBlade, bad wave management. Dies thinking that he's safe because Jankos is around, and then the 2v2 once again in favor of Fnatic. Wunder's going to be able to push this wave out, get a good base. We saw in a little picture-in-picture on the bottom left, Humanoid had to use his ultimate. Caps was looking for the kill. Actually had kill pressure in this lane, surprisingly. A lot of mid laners consider this a counter pick because Ahri has so much push in this lane and so much setup for jungle. Razork hasn't visited mid too much, but he got them a Drake, and now they have 3 kills as well. So again, fantastic early game from Razork so far.
Certainly the case. About 1.5k gold lead for Fnatic as we take a look back at this one. Yes, he won the barrel best of 5. We thought he would die, but good confidence in the execution here. And G2 not ready for the Viego level 6.
Yeah, Jankos thought he could run back through river, but then he realizes Razork's there and he has no flash, so he tries to dodge the Ornn knockup, and then BrokenBlade tries to trade back. Razork picks up the soul, manages to take down BrokenBlade. Even if he flashes the ult, he has the stun to follow up. And now we've got a Herald fight going on. Humanoid doesn't have ultimate, but it looks like Fnatic want to contest this. Wunder doesn't have ult either. Razork, no ult. This could be a bit risky for Fnatic, but Hilly has the level 6.
Humanoid, good bit of poke. Hylissang has a lot of space control as long as he has bombs. That Wunder just walking forward fearlessly. He takes it away. What can't he do this game? Jankos now has to back away, trying to heal as much as he can with the ultimate, trying to make everybody very, very squishy. They're looking for the resets. Jankos, if he falls, it's going to be massive for Razork. Can't keep this going. They're trying to burn him down. He's coming back to life. Hylissang there, clutch to bring him back as Razork can now chase. He's got the reset, the free charge of the ultimate if he wants to keep chasing here. But Fnatic taking everything across this map.
Yeah, Hilly not even flinching there, realizing who he needs to pop the ultimate on. Wunder got a bit low, but he knew Razork would die to the GPQ from BrokenBlade. Keeps him alive. Another kill, Jankos falls, and they get themselves the Herald as well. It looked like Jankos had that. He had the eye. He went for the auto-attack smite, but as he hit it, Razork smited first.
Incredible in those moments. That could have been a turn back, a moment to find some advantage for the side of G2. Instead, they're falling further and further behind here in this early game. 2.5K for Fnatic. About 10 minutes in. Herald will not be used here as they push Fnatic back for now. BrokenBlade here to catch some of these minions.
Yeah. And we saw in the first game of the split, G2 played up against Astralis, and I think Jankos' first death, level 3, was overextending in their jungle, dying in their enemy jungle, trying to take away the Gromp, and just a small mistake, a little bit over-aggressive this game too. Fnatic quick to punish, Razork always there, and you can see here, Jankos auto-attacks the eye, but Razork smites as he does it, so incredible reaction time from him. And then Hilly just not flinching here, making sure he's keeping his eye on his team, making sure he keeps an eye on Razork and Wunder. Whichever one's going to fall, he's going to ult them first. Wunder was a bit low, but he saw that the GPQ was coming onto Razork. Wunder survives, and then they get themselves the kill.
Yeah. And of course, Targamas not really able to impact the map quite yet. That's the playmaking you would want from the Rakan, but Hylissang already getting value from the ultimate, made it through the laning phase unscathed. This is where it gets so difficult for G2, falling behind in the early game. All the damage coming out from Corki could amount to nothing with one well-placed Zillion ult in the fights to come.
Yeah, Humanoid now matching BrokenBlade. Will win this matchup quite hard. It looks like when he has the ultimate up, can poke the GP under tower, keep the push, and Wunder's mid. We'll see if they swap back or if Wunder stays here to contest Drake, and then maybe Humanoid can TP mid to help them get the 5v4. Upset looking for Flakked here.
Almost ready to go in. Razork now spotted. They know they can't overcommit here.
So, does Humanoid TP mid here, and do they move 5-man for this Drake? It looks like for now it's just a reactionary play. If G2 contest, he will TP. If they don't, then they'll just get it and back away. They have Herald as well, so they have a lot to play around. There's the TP mid. So 5v4 in favor of Fnatic. G2 don't know he's there just yet, but I think they realize that this is uncontestable, no vision to work with. Just let BrokenBlade push out top and take a base. Incredible early game so far.
And I love it. Wunder already on the way back to topside. He's going to lose 1, 2, maybe 3 minions for that entire series of play. Humanoid TP's back to mid, but that's where he wants to be anyway. So Fnatic, really excellent, controlled early game. G2 obviously can look to throw a spanner in the works, especially now that level 6 has come through from Targamas. You can see individually that top side that we talked about. It's where the kills are, it's where the money is. Caps, though, has to be careful. Charm goes a little bit wide there from Humanoid, I think, anticipating a sidestep in that instance. Could have been a bit of a different exchange if he does manage to make it work.
And this is the only lane that's working for G2 right now. Ironically, in a lane that Caps shouldn't really have any business in winning. Hasn't lost a plate yet, took a plate out of Humanoid, has a CS lead, managed to get his ult out. Level 6, level 7. Now Humanoid might look for Jankos, still no flash up. Razork's close by as well.
Dash forward, Jankos looking to retreat back to Corki. GP all now coming in. Targamas can look to turn it. Oh, Razork, that is not what you need to be doing. The shutdown now coming through. Humanoid in no man's land. The barrel is not going to connect.
No flash. Can they chase? Where's the pillar?
Wunder just trying to collapse his weight before he goes for anything else. Humanoid still running. Can get a little bit more movement speed from the spells coming in, but he is going to get knocked up. He is going to get taken down. No, Hylissang flashes in for the ultimate, and Humanoid still standing there trying to wait it out. The bullet, it will not connect. He carried the pistol for so long, but now he's gone and wasted the shot. Wunder pushing in for more, and G2, have to feel frustrated on the back of that one.
Definitely do. Wunder looking for more. The knockup doesn't land. He would have had kill pressure there if it did. Herald dropped by Razork in base, was probably expiring. Caps gets a couple plates. Big shutdown over to BrokenBlade means he's only around 400 gold down, but still behind. That Herald's going to go top, so that top tower will die. The question is, do Fnatic get local gold here? The local gold will be so important. I think Wunder has to stick around. Maybe G2 even want to kill this Herald. I don't think it will get the tower. Not enough members here for Fnatic to defend this Herald to make sure that it crashes. It's going to be wasted. Razork did make a small mistake in getting caught out, gave over a shutdown, but now he's given over the Herald too.
Yeah, the Hylissang Wunder escort service is not quite what they wanted it to be. Of course, BrokenBlade Jankos Targamas waiting in the flank. Hylissang caught out here. No flash from earlier. He used that flash to save his teammate, but the knockup from Wunder will buy him enough time to escape.
Looks like Wunder's the bodyguard here. Hylissang's president just made sure he's safe there with the knockup, otherwise they probably would have got that kill. Upset will meanwhile has been farming bolts. Razork might look for Flakked. I think that's what he's scared of. He's scared of the dive. Upset 3 plates, looking for 4. Big CS lead. Razork flashing.
Love it. Flash forward with the Spectral Maw is not able to connect Flakked. Immediately flashing out to safety, but it does mean Upset gets that much more time. Wave denied. Caps on the way. Fnatic Corki.
Oh my God.
A bit of extra BM as he starts to push forward and make sure that the tower will not fall.
Of course he's running the Fnatic Corki skin. Didn't even pay attention to that. Does Season 1 count? I think a lot of people agree that it doesn't, but he's going to run it just to taunt them a little bit. He's going to go back to mid here. Package doesn't find anything.
It counts. I think it counts. It just doesn't count in the same way that...
You wrote the card game where it didn't count.
That's true. I can't say that. You're right.
You have no business in saying that.
Yeah.
L plus ratio.
I did use it as a joke. There you go, L plus ratio.
L plus ratio.
Shout out to Flakked and his infinite ability to ratio anyone. That said, Upset now finally with Blade of the Rune King. Love this about Twitch. Anytime Blade of the Rune King is good, Twitch is good. Just gives him everything that he wants. Yeah. Paired with his ultimate, it makes him such a lethal threat.
Caps being a nuisance, taking away Caps, 152 CS at 14 minutes. We'll get close to 160 here after this wave. Upset wants to chunk him out, gonna use the W to escape. And again, G2, big poke comp. Fnatic need to make sure that they're quick on these engages. Make sure they don't let these objective fights kind of draw on for a minute, 2 minutes. Make sure they don't get chunked out before this engage happens. And I mean, one barrel onto Upset, a couple of rockets, he's basically out of the fight. He has a little bit of range, but with the pillar, with the slow, the amount of skill shots that can hit him is dangerous. So Wunder needs to be quick to pull the trigger on the engage. Caps might be in trouble again.
Upset now stepping forward. That's going to be the ulti. Jankos off to the side, stealing away a little bit of AD. That's crucial in these moment-to-moment exchanges. But Upset now getting ulted, ticking, burning. Not quite enough to finish him.
So 2 ultimates used there from G2. And now Fnatic are going to dive top. BrokenBlade, no flash.
Razork waiting for the engage, waiting for Wunder to take tower aggro. Instead, just focusing on burning the tower down. Now they can set their sights on BrokenBlade, but Caps in the area, Jankos in the area, and they need to retreat. Charging out to safety. Summoner Spellbook giving him the ghost, giving him the movement speed that he needs now to escape.
He's going to survive, it looks like. BrokenBlade trying to hit a barrel combo. G2 investing all these members up here to try and cover the play, but they get the tower anyway, and I think Humanoid will get bot tower as well, unless Caps can TP down there, but I think he's too low to do that, so both side lane towers are falling here. Fnatic gonna get a pretty hefty gold lead. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. We'll see if they set up for it. They just used Twitch, Cillian, and Arnold, so wouldn't surprise me if they don't really put too much priority on it. We'll see how the mid push goes, and with G2 being topside, it might just be free for them.
Hylissang still floating around. Getting pillared, but no follow-up here. G2 seem they're gonna get this one relatively uncontested as Hylissang checks in. And reminder, before we go into the next crazy play or crazy moment that will inevitably happen in a G2 Fnatic game, that the LEC is taking a break week next week, riot-wide break week. So we will be returning on July 15th. So next week, no Fnatic, no nobody, no nothing.
No,
just pause, just pretend time freezes for a week, and then we're back as normal.
Yep.
For anyone who missed it, we'll say it again one more time in this cast. But now we can focus back in. Yep. Talk a little bit about what's going on. Because we're approaching the point where it's not just going to be single kills and small gold leads anymore. Especially once Baron gets on the table in about 3 minutes. Now we start to get to the point where it's skirmishes, it's big fights, and single mistakes that will cost games.
Definitely will. Items being picked up. Dragon Soul Point for Fnatic. Position is going to be really important for them when it comes to those fights that you're talking about. Jankos actually building towards the Sunder, so will be quite squishy in these fights. Of course, he will try to ult Wunder and try to be a beefy frontline, but that's all that G2 have standing in front of them against the Ahri of Humanoid. Upset trying to find these picks, and he's going to have red buff here. He'll do a lot of damage to Flakked here, who's just going to have to dash away. The speed of Zilean with the ult is so deadly. Razork versus Jankos. Humanoid hovering around next to Caps. All of G2 and Fnatic hovering on the spot side of the map.
Hylissang speeding up Humanoid, Razork, or Upset gives this team so much pick potential. Fighting into the GP, into the Corki and Trundle, always a bit of a dangerous prospect when they're set up and around an objective, but before G2 have that set up, before they have that vision, it's so easy for Fnatic to push forward into the darkness to threaten G2 over every single one of these wards.
Spots them out. Mid-tier 1 is where Fnatic are focusing. G2 might find an engage.
Charm does manage to connect on Jankos, trying to burn through the Trundle as quickly as possible. You talked about how squishy he is. He's forced to use the ultimate just to survive. Traded, ulti for ulti now. Zilean ulti fading away as Razork now tries to retreat. He's so low! Caps the rocket to damage. It will not connect. Upset waiting! Spraying and praying, rat-a-tat-tat, whatever you want to call it. Upset turning his play in an instant. It's Wunder looking to finish the job. 2 knockups, but no one is there to find the kills.
Oh, G2 all extremely low. Fnatic, you can see the amount of AoE damage they have, and all of this damage from G2 doesn't even have a kill. Wunder's trying to stop the bases so they can get this mid-tier 1. Upset's going to start hitting it. No TPs up for G2. Targamas just trying to zone Upset away, trying to pretend that there's someone behind him. And there's not enough big enough wave. And Fnatic won't get this objective, so nobody dies. Incredibly close fight. Razork extremely close to dying. Caps tries to dash forward, but they can't find anyone on either side.
And so close. And the thing is, Upset's building more items, and that's only going to get easier because, again, there's not a tank. Yes, everyone on G2 is going to be able to threaten him more. There's going to be more damage. But that does not give them more survivability against what is going to be a very, very lethal Twitch.
Definitely, and when you get something like the Hurricane, that's only going to be even more difficult to deal with. I mean, imagine that last fight with the Hurricane on top of that, right? He's going to be hitting absolutely everyone with the poison stacks. Incredible amounts of damage. Wunder picked up the Frozen Heart. Will get even tankier. And G2 don't have a huge tank killer. I mean, they do have a lot of damage from the Corki in terms of poke. The Zeri wants to find angles where she can actually start getting stacks and then diving towards the backline. on top of the GP ult. So they're going to have to try and find Upset, and Upset's flash is going to be really critical in these fights. If he gets pillared without a flash, all of G2 are going to send a dive bomb on top of him. Looks like they're going to focus down this bot tier 1. They should pick this up. I think it's an objective bounty as well. Yep. I mean, the gold's only around 3k lead here for Fnatic, but the fact that they have 3 dragons means they have objective bounties here. Herald a bit wasted, unless they go for tier 2. Now, this is a bit of an awkward call here for G2. Do you push in for a tier 2 here when you're this far behind?
Charm, Jankos taking up a lot of damage here. Still confident enough to step forward, burn those cooldowns, make sure that the Herald can charge. Trying to kill it quickly. We'll still get the charge off, and the objective bounty remains on that bot side tier 2. Mid lane will be broken in the meantime. Very big for the potential picks coming out from Humanoid or Razork in plays to come.
Winning trade there for Fnatic. Herald just used for nothing, basically. Just chunks out of tier 2 and they just trade tier 1, so they'll be happy with that. Top tier 1 and mid tier 1 won't be under any threat anytime soon unless they lose a fight here. Caps on 2 items. And everyone's back to catching waves. 1 minute on that soul. A soul at around 21 minutes into the game. Incredible Drake stacking from Fnatic. I mean, Razork did the first Drake at level 4, so his win condition was very, very clear. There's the Hurricane for Upset. So the AoE damage coming out from Fnatic is going to be ruthless. G2 needs to be very careful at poking them out and finding that one target with Targamas. But then again, the Zillion ult is just causing so much problems for them.
Zillion ult is really hard. The good news is, with barrels, with Corki rockets, is that oftentimes if you can get that damage before a fight kicks off, it's not as threatening. If you're forced to try to burst Upset down at any point, not poke him out, but burst him down, Zillion counters your entire plan.
Yeah. Here come the mid-wave contests. All of G2 are going to move towards mid. Does Caps have the package? I wonder if he's going to do blue and then base, pick up package and TP in, because I expect he will need it for this dragon fight. I mean, a GP ult with a package and all this poke could be their way into this game. He does have the package already, so he won't have to base. I mean, it's still 20 seconds to the dragon, so this might expire. Fnatic can check how long it's going to last and try to wait it out. Humanoid has the Banshees to withstand a couple of rockets. There's one that's going to miss. We'll keep our eye on Caps and see how many rockets he does connect with. Fnatic just want to avoid this package, wait for it to fall off, give up the positioning, get the next mid-wave in. But G2 could just start the dragon up straight away. Fnatic needs to be careful that they don't just rush it down here.
Watch out for the barrel over the wall.
There goes the Banshees.
Just a bit of poke here at this stage of the game. They get scary as we move forward. Level 13 GP, though, this is when it starts getting easy for him to lay these down so consistently.
They're going to finish it.
Package now used. GP ult coming out, zoning away. All the major cooldowns now burned. BrokenBlade going to be in trouble. Locked up. The CC coming in. Not quite enough to finish him as Wunder looking for the follow-up. Flakked going over the wall. Humanoid now going to be in trouble. Hylissang trying to run. Targamas going to find one on the engage with the knockup coming in. Viego going over the wall. Upside onto the backside. Eliminates the Trundle. And now Fnatic picking G2 apart. They had the objective, but Fnatic looking for the kills. Flakked now going to get knocked up. The trouble now coming in. Razork gets the reset. Immediately finds the kill. This dynamic duo on the top side for Fnatic is taking over the fights.
And what are they going to get for it here? Fnatic are going to try to pressure onto this mid tier 2. It's a bit too healthy, and Baron's up 15 seconds on the Jankos. Do they think that Baron's the call here? They're all moving towards it. Caps has TP, BrokenBlade has TP, Jankos is up in 5. They will have vision on them. They'll spot this out. TP for BrokenBlade. Does Caps play for this bot tier 2? Or does he try to TP and poke them out? It looks like Fnatic think this is pretty much free. And it looks like for now, G2 are just going to give this one up. They stop the soul, but they give up the Baron.
Trade back with an objective bounty, either the mid lane or the bottom lane. Hylissang going to try to clear the wave with double bombs as best as he can.
Quite slow.
Very slow. You've got a Viego and a Twitch, though, so eventually you will take it down. See what it's going to come down to, though. First objective bounty falls.
No way, right?
Targamas, there's no way. Jankos, maybe? No. Objective will fall, and now Jankos overstaying a bit as Hylissang flashes in. Stun is now going to connect. Easy, simple follow-up. Targamas, if he doesn't make this work, could get caught out as well. Razork just trying to finish the job. Flakked waiting on the backside. Suddenly, it's a bit of a turn, but the TP now coming in. They're caught in the pinch.
Humanoid.
They're caught by the pillar to follow. Trundle now coming up. Pillar to land onto Flakked, zoning him away. Instantly going to find the kill. They wanted the contest, but things going from bad to worse as Razork finds the double kill.
What an unbelievable game from Razork. From start to finish, he's had this game under control despite that one mistake where he gave over a shutdown to BrokenBlade. The only kill of the game is Razork's mistake, but the rest of it, he's been playing fantastic. Quickly punishes Jankos there, who tries to fish for a steal. Sees the Baron's gone, but it's already too late. Targamas and Flakked try to peel to keep him alive. They haven't even based yet. They're going to get a mid-tier 2. Are they going to move into top here? BrokenBlade has the ult up soon, has a little bit of wave clear. I think that's going to be it. They're going to back away.
And this is where it gets really scary because they hadn't spent their money yet. But now we go back, that's a completed Deadman's, a completed Hex Drinker, and a lot more items to come from Fnatic as we take a look back at this exchange.
So let's watch Flakked and Targamas here. They get the dragon, but all of G2 need to run. BrokenBlade's chunked out, Caps doesn't have a good position, but they think for a second here they have a pick. They both jump over the wall at the same time, but Targamas just misses the flash knockup. If he got that, maybe they could get the Zillion ult, try to kill Hylissang, but no. Fnatic quick to respond. Jankos is already dead, Upset's just taking him out with the ultimate, and now the flashes are down. They chase them.
And the Zillion doing so much work in these fights. Yeah, you didn't hit too many double bombs, but the speed ups, allowing to dodge that initial charm from Targamas, allowing the pursuit from Razork. Matters so much as we get later and later. BrokenBlade maybe can try to go for an outplay and make this into a 1-for-1, but he's definitely dead.
He is as good as dead. They could stagger this and try to stall it. I think they were thinking about it there for a second, or just giving the kill over to Upset because they have a top wave to play on. Humanoid is just going to base and catch mid, defend with Wunder while they try to get this top tier 2.
I love what we're seeing from Fnatic this game. G2 doing what they can, getting these bounties back, keeping the gold within touching distance. Only 4K separating them. Execution's still going to be the biggest, most important factor. That and, of course, taking out Razork and not letting him find these resets.
Yeah, still 1 minute 40 seconds on that soul. We'll see how Fnatic sets up for it. Jankos having an uncharacteristic game here, 2 levels down. Just been kind of ran around the map by Razork. Every single time he tries to find a single play, he just dies, or he's at a numbers disadvantage, or he's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. We'll see if he can make a miracle steal on this dragon, which Fnatic are going to go into this bot side jungle, sweep out the wards, set up as much vision as possible. That's their next clear objective. Baron buff falling off soon. They might get this bot tier 2, but they need to be very careful not to overstay and give G2 an entrance into this bot side river.
G2 for now, moving up to the top side of the map where there's a lot of vision in favor of Fnatic. Got their eyes focused on taking some of these easy objective bounties, get the gold as close as possible. 6K difference between them. Baron fading away in 11 seconds. Still feels like this tier 2 is set to fall.
Definitely is. Caps looks like he wants to take this top tier 1 objective bounties as much as possible. And I wonder if G2 are just discussing in the comms, guys, should we just give this dragon? I mean, Cloud Soul's not the end of the world. Lots of move speed once you pop your ult, but not exactly combat stats to scare you in terms of damage and burst. Maybe wait for level 16 Corki, wait for a couple more items, give them this soul, look for an Elder fight. That's the beauty of giving them soul. It gives you a chance at Elder. And as much as they can get the Elder and end the game because they're ahead, if you steal it, that's where the miracles happen. We almost saw it in the Mad Lions game against Misfits. And with Targamas positioning, it looks like G2 are not going to contest this. See if they do. Upset looks like he wants the red buff. Rabadon's complete. Kraken Slayer complete. Insane spikes here from Fnatic. They're at their strongest right now.
Truly terrifying. Feels like so much for G2 hinges on how much poke Caps can get out before a fight. He is incredibly strong. 3.5 item Corki. We've seen it for what feels like years now, the amount of damage. Well, a season and a half now. The Corki rocket's obviously hitting like a truck if they can find it, but TP now coming in from Caps. Has the package as well. Humanoid waiting off in the darkness.
Caps.
Looking to take this one, and they do it again, and they managed to make it happen. They take it away, now they just need to retreat. They do not need to risk anything for this one.
Okay, they get themselves the dragon, they slow it down again. Another steal there from G2. Razork can't get the smite in. I mean, I think it was a big rocket with the Zeri W, was enough damage to secure it. And now Fnatic are just having to wait for the next Baron. There's nothing else they can really do. Sieging tier 3s with no Nash is impossible against champs like GP and Corki. Way too much wave clear unless you find a pick, so I mean, G2 are holding on. Their team fight's not going to get any stronger, and Fnatic's is, but they're holding on. Maybe they can find picks before the next Baron, but that's going to be Fnatic's next objective.
Certainly will be. Of course, something making it harder, though, are the Ornn upgrades coming in as well. More stats for the side of Fnatic, but G2 can find more plays like that. Maybe they can make this game happen. Obviously, Zeri Ultra Shock laser damage and Corki rocket damage is a bit crazy, but they managed to land that not just on dragons, but champions in the fights to come. You can see how they would be able to pick apart the team.
God, look at Upset's items. I mean, if he even gets 2 or 3 autos off onto Caps, I wonder if he actually kills him, if he gets crits. Procs the Kraken Slayer, pops the E red buff as well. We'll see if he gets towards level 16. He's halfway there for now. Baron in 50. G2 are just kind of have to left waiting. And when that objective spawns, they have to find a tunnel of light through the darkness that is the vision of Fnatic. Upset's already looking now.
Now coming in, looking for the setup, just isolating BrokenBlade off to the side, forcing out a stopwatch pretty early on. Still has the ulti up and available, but they're being pushed back. And again, this is the struggle of sieging in. If you don't immediately find these picks, it's not get any easier as Humanoid takes so much damage. Waiting on that big one, waiting on that rocket, will not connect.
Yeah, Caps, level 16 Corki does so much damage.
It's so incredibly oppressive, especially when you have as many items as he does. And that's the advantage. All these skirmishes, all these fights, Fnatic moving around the map to take these objectives. It's been Caps on the side lane so consistently farming up, getting those objective bounties for the team, as well as so much money into his back pocket, despite Fnatic's crushing leads. Despite Fnatic having 2 more kills and 2 more assists, it's still Fnatic at 1 point, or not Fnatic, rather Caps, 1.6k ahead in the individual advantage.
Baron's up. G2 have found a little bit of vision in their own jungle. They need a bit more. That blue orb just got taken. There's another blue orb, which I expect Wunder to try and take away soon. They need more information to work with. GP ult's not up yet, so they can't use that for vision. There go the blue orbs, there goes the next pink. The line of vision is getting pushed further and further back. Caps level 17 now on this Corki. If he can see them, he can hit them. And if he can hit them, he can maybe get them low enough to stop this. But Fnatic are waiting, they're hiding. G2 have to answer this soon. Otherwise, this is just gone. And that's exactly what it is.
It's gone. No position this time around on the blue side to find the rockets, to find the Ultra Shock Laser high.
That was
briefly. We lean very close to the screen when we cast. That's what you've learned right now. But Fnatic still on the hunt, have the power of the Zillion, have the movement speed steroid that comes in from the mist from Razork, as well as the stealth from Upset, but he's been spotted now on the ward G2. Good to retreat as 5. A single member wanders out alone in the darkness, the Twitch, the Viego, someone will appear.
Now the difficult task starts. G2 have to hold on against the Baroned up Fnatic with a 6k gold lead. 1 minute 50 seconds on the Soul, but what Fnatic can do is they can get a wave stacked up, walk into your tier 3, pop the Ornn ult, and you're just gonna have to back away or respect it or use a GP ult to defend it. G2 are looking for a pick. I don't think Jankos and Targamas have the damage or the lockdown to kill Humanoid here, but maybe with Caps and or a GP ult, they can find that pick. Looks like Fnatic are being very, very cautious here, not sieging on that wave, basing for items, playing on bot waves, waiting for the Soul perhaps, but yeah, the siege hasn't started yet.
The big thing that we also have to keep our eyes on is Upset is a 3-item Twitch, but the 4th item is going to be Infinity Edge, and that's the one that's really going to hurt in the fights to come. However, it is a similar story for BB, who appears to be going for it as well. Barrels versus rockets versus infinite range Poison Rat with the Zillion. There's a lot going on in this game. For Fnatic, have a lot more tools to set these things up at this point in the game. The Warn giving them a lot of that, and of course, Soul still available. Soul still on the table. A minute out. The objective we have to keep our eyes on, or the potential pick. Waiting in the darkness, Flakked now running for his life, but that's so much damage. Late game Twitch, an absolute terror. Upset taking nothing back in response, but takes out 50% of both Flakked and Jankos' health bar.
Here comes the siege then. Wunder's got a bot wave, Humanoid's got a mid wave. It's going to be a 1-4. They can use the Ornn ult to make sure they get this, but it looks like they're going to give it up anyway. Humanoid's hitting the mid tower as well. That might fall too. G2 don't have many engage options. It's literally Targamas or a pillar.
Upset slowed, Razork slowed, knocked up, no. Unstoppable as he uses the ultimate to escape. Fnatic not overstaying, not overcommitting, just continuing to poke forward, just continuing the siege as Humanoid ushers that cannon minion in.
And they don't have to rush. They could also just go towards the Soul, get Infinity Edge on Upset, and then restart the siege on the next Baron. But it looks like Wunder might be caught here.
Jankos, excellent use of it. There's no more E for Wunder, but now they're looking to turn the fight. Upset cut off into the backside, and immediately he starts to run. He knows Targamas can try to turn this one. Upset still free firing. No ultimate available, but he may not need it as Wunder starts to knock back. Razork not quite taken out. He's trying to die so he can get the health back. Wunder going forward into G2, but Wunder standing strong. G2 standing strong. They'll find the kill. They have more than enough damage to take him down. But Fnatic immediately turning back to Cloud Drake in their sights. They need more. G2 need more if they want to find a way back into this game. Trying to fish for the pick onto Humanoid, they will not get it. So while they find the kill, while they hold their base, they will lose the Soul.
Soul to Fnatic. G2 get a kill, but like you said, Jankos, they need more. This is not enough to bring them back into this game. They're still 6k down. Baron is not up yet, of course. Fnatic had it. They're going to get a little bit of mid push, try to find a little bit of vision. Caps has package. Maybe they just brute force this tier 2 mid. They have a numbers advantage. It's a 5v4, but Upset. He has Infinity Edge. How much damage can he dish out here? How much?
Ulti, Razork off to the side. If he gets him low enough, Razork can find the resets. They're baited. They turn back for 1 second, and now he starts to unleash the package coming out. Cap's going to be in trouble. Razork unstoppable. Moving forward on Caps. It's flawless timing, but Upset, a monster absolutely unleashed onto G2 as he steps forward. He's trying to take out Flakked. He's going to kill absolutely everybody. Razork getting the resets as well. It's an absolute slaughter in the mid lane, the triple for Twitch, and the game for Fnatic.
Absolute dominance from start to finish. G2 only got 2 kills this entire time, and it was only a mistake from Wunder and Razork. The team fight's incredibly one-sided. Upset didn't even have Infinity Edge in that fight, but melted through G2, and in 33 minutes, they're gonna claim their win.
Fnatic finding the lead over G2 in the regular season, standing tall at the top of the standings. As Hilly leaps in to die. Has to go down at least once.
It doesn't end the game on 0 deaths.
Would be very unhilly-like of him.
It definitely would. I think all smiles and cheers there from Fnatic on a 3-game win streak themselves now. They've taken down Rogue at the start of the split. They've taken down G2. So against these top teams, they're putting up a hell of a fight.
I mean, this was an incredible game to watch, how controlled it was. And again, we saw these moments of desync from Fnatic in weeks past, and even last season, and that just was not present today. It was clear, it was controlled, it was collected. Yes, there were 1 or 2 small hiccups, but no major moments of disconnect. And the top side, again, yes, Upset brought it home. Yes, the Twitch Zillion combo brought it home, but the ones that got the ball rolling, top side of the map, Wunder and Razork together, dynamic duo, made so much happen.
Definitely did. And that was their bridge into the mid to late game, where the team fights were all Fnatic from start to finish. So much AoE, we even saw it in the early stages when Upset didn't even have Hurricane in those fights, but all of G2 so low HP, and like we said, it was only really going to get worse, and Fnatic, the most important thing for them in this game was patience, and they definitely had it.
No, certainly did. Lots of these slower fights where they baited out the cooldowns, they baited out the package, they baited out the cannon barrage, all of these things. But overall, excellent, excellent day for Fnatic. Big too is, again, the top of the table standings are so incredibly close. It's the nature of best of one. It's the nature of these early weeks. So these single wins against opponents who will be contesting you, we expect, for playoffs positioning, is massive.
Yeah, that puts Fnatic tied for first, I believe, with Rogue and XL.
Yeah.
Knocks G2 down to third. And with Mad Lions as loss, they're just below them, I believe.
Yeah.
Or they're tied together. But anyway, you can vote for your Kia player of the game. LEC on Twitter, Wunder, Razork, or Hilly. Wunder, a bit quiet, but did all his good engages. Razork, I think, had one of the best games I've ever seen from him on Fnatic. Incredible early game from start to finish. Objectives, kills, ganks, you name it.
Yeah. Definitely did not look like a nerfed Viego whatsoever.
No.
Oh, and I think...
Because they didn't nerf for Razork.
They can't nerf Razork.
Exactly.
They can't do that. It's not allowed. No. They tried with Caps 2019. Tried with G2 when they got rid of the Pike. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Can't take down Razork.
Well, before we send it over to Shox for the interview with Wunder and Razork, a quick reminder. Again, the LEC break week, vacation. Take a pause, take a breather. Come back on July 15th when we will return with week 4 and more of banger content. Let's head over to the post-game interview.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Wunder and with Razork after Fnatic close out the match of the week over G2 Esports in very convincing fashion, I gotta say. How much of that is like channeling your I'm against my ex-team buff?
I mean, last time we played them, we lost in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, then I realized that, well, before that we won against them, and I realized that BrokenBlade had prepared his own pocket pick, and without it, he was kind of lost. So yeah, I just took it away from him, and we saw that when he went back to the Champions, not Ornn, that it was just easy for us.
Okay, was it the same for you, taking things you learned from that last time into this best of one?
Yeah, I think, honestly, G2 didn't play at their best in this game. I feel like they tried to draft different. They took away, they banned the Bully, and then, I don't know, I think it's a good ban, honestly, but it didn't work out for them because of the Viego, so.
Yeah, you did. I love your cheeky smile in that regard as well. When it comes to a game like this, it's of course really stressful, and you were very far ahead, but I wonder, is there ever any communication when it comes to the later stages of that game in terms of, all right, we are ahead, but we really have to now do this, or take care of the Corki that's hitting level 16 and all of that. Is that part of your communication, or is it only about, no, we need to finish as fast as possible? I don't know who wants to answer that.
I mean, this game was really stressful, for sure.
Okay.
We don't usually play against their draft, I would say, and they have, like, for sure, very good scaling. I mean, they picked kind of like the notorious scaling picks in pretty much every lane, right? They've had the Sari, the Corki, the GP. So, I mean, they was a little bit stressful because we couldn't just walk up and hit them. They have, like, a lot of poke and a lot of chances to just take us down, right? So we kind of had to play it in a different way than we usually play. But, I mean, I'm happy it worked out, and on stage it's like the ultimate test for it, right? So I'm just, yeah, I mean, I'm happy we could manage to play this kind of way as well.
And close it out, even though, well, we're not going to talk about Steel after that. Sorry to bring it up, even Razork. In general, this is a very stressful environment, and you've talked a lot about kind of the way you're adapting to Fnatic and have all of this year. Where do you think you're at now, and how much confidence does it give you that you could have such a convincing game specifically against G2 today?
I mean, of course, it's really good to win against G2, and even the way we did. But overall, the improvement or the adapting to the team is just, I feel like my team is full of superstars, kinda. So I kinda need to give resources and maybe get carried sometimes, just do the dog job a little bit. Okay. But I feel like I'm a good player myself too, and if I get resources, I can also carry the game or be impactful, like not only playing Bolivar.
You're a superstar as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aw, I love that. We had Elioya on PGL actually yesterday, and he was saying the same thing, and he was hoping that you could do very well in this lineup, which you of course are. I'm glad you guys brought up the fact that in the spring playoffs, it was unfortunate that first you were able to beat G2, but then of course they came back and beat you. What is your plan to stay ahead of G2 now in summer, Razork?
I mean, I think it really doesn't matter, honestly, how you end in like the standings. It's like the playoff run is what matters the most. Obviously, going the top 4 is really good for the winners bracket. But I feel like we need to not go into the wrong mindset that we took last split. We finished second, and then in the playoffs, actually G2 went in the loser brackets, and they started beating every team. So I feel like we just need to make sure that we are a strong team. We had a really bad week. I think the last week was terrible. We were sick and stuff, as I said yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very happy with the performance that we bring this week. We saw that we are working a lot in playing as a team, and I think it's slowly seen in the games.
I mean, this is a great week, definitely, if you look at Fnatic. Wunder, especially yesterday, people were talking about your Gragas. I mean, they always talk about your Gragas, but in general, I think you've been having a couple of really strong games. What do you think about your overall level right now comparatively to the field?
I mean, I'm not sure like about my own personal level. I think I'm just practicing and playing the same way, but for sure, like when we are playing well as a team, I think it also reflects a lot in, I guess, how everyone is perceived. I think, yeah, I mean, right now the meta is kind of fun, like at least the champs you play, maybe not like the way you play the game, but the champs that you are able to play in top lane are like all champions that, it's like a large variety as well, and it's just champs that are generally like a little bit more fun to play, so it suits me well, and yeah, I'm kind of happy playing it, I guess.
I know for a top laner, that's always very important, right? Because you get a couple of dog metas sometimes, and that's not that fun to play. Razork, Wunder said you're a superstar, and you won the Kia Player of the Game for this one, so... Congratulations. Yeah, anything you want to say? Because, of course, it's fans that vote for it. So it's the fans that vote for it. So they definitely see you as the superstar as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy. Actually, to get the MVP, I really don't care too much. I think we all played as a team. I'm a bit sad because Wunder stole my kill in the top gank, honestly. It was a little bit sad, but he did good, so I'm happy. I got 9 kills, so he can take one.
It's exactly. I think it's very deserved as well. Final question. We, of course, had the big announcement that we're heading to Malmö in front of a big crowd. To be there, you have to be, of course, in the final 3 of the playoffs. Wonder how much does the fact that we're going back to an arena with these thousands of fans motivate you to be sure that you can get there?
I mean, it's for sure like really fun, right? Just, I mean, it's fun playing here as well, but for sure when you're playing on a big stadium, there's like so many cheers and you can hear it. The white noise has to be like crazy high for it to block out, right? So yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. And I mean, right now, I wouldn't say I hope we make it because I'm pretty sure we're going to make it. But I mean, at least hope that we can play in front of the big crowd at the final and win it as well. That would mean a lot to me at least. So.
Okay, fantastic. Anything you want to add, Razor?
No, just it will be my dream actually to just maybe win my first LEC in a big stadium. It will be pretty nice.
Yeah, it would be great to see you guys there, as well as all the fans that are here. Hopefully they can make it there as well. Thank you so much, Razork. Thank you so much, Wunder. Fnatic win our match of the week. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have PGL with Lore and Neon and Trouble. So don't go anywhere. It's a fantastic end to your week. Bye.
Over the past 2 years, the LEC finals have been played from this studio. That's 2 years where the LEC hasn't been on the road. That's 2 years where we haven't been able to come to where you are, the fans. But this year is different. That's why we are proud to announce that this year, this season, the LEC is back on the road. More specifically,
looking for 4, that's the Quadra, he will get it, the reset forward, looking for a pentakill, we're in Sweden.
Control of this lane.
Incredibly impressive stuff. Really inspirational.
And here we go. He's looking for something. What a move! This man is on fire!
That's the kind of play which makes me want to be on stage. Hold on.
Thank you so much for joining me. Tell me, how do you feel after making that play?